Hi everyone! In this video, I will be talking about how you can score well in BM, SPM, Ujian, Lisan, and Karangan. Bahasa Melayu, BM, is a subject that you must pass to get the SPM certificate, so it is extremely important to get good grades in this subject. In this video, I will cover tips for Karangan, tips for Ujian bertutur, and how you can best utilize your BM textbook to help you score well for these two tests. So let's start now. We'll start with tips on Karangan. So what is a Karangan cemerlang like? Well, it should have relevant ideas related to the theme, clear elaborations, ungkapan menarik such as peribahasa and frasa menarik, and pengolahan menarik, which are smooth transitions and flow between points. So if you want to score well, these are all the things that your Karangan must have. In SPM, the soalan Karangan usually has a long paragraph of text. This paragraph usually has content that is somewhat related to the topic that you are gonna write about in your Karangan. Before you start writing anything, it is best to read this paragraph carefully to check if there are any points that you can use for your Karangan. For your Pendahuluan, you can start off with a general sentence to briefly explain the theme of the topic. You can write about isu semasa, or you can explain what the topic is. For example, if your Karangan is about usaha-usaha menyemarakan dan mengangkat keunikan permainan tradisional semula, you can start off your essay by explaining what permainan tradisional is. If the topic is something that is well known, you can even start off your Karangan with the sentence, bukan frasa yang baharu kepada kita dan bermaksud, or kini bukan sesuatu yang asing kepada kita. You can also try to use any information that has been provided in the question. For example, in the next sentences, you can provide examples of permainan traditional or even do a past versus present comparison to compare how often children in the past and present play with permainan traditional. However, do note to not keep your pendahuluan too long. If you notice that your pendahuluan is getting a bit too lengthy, you can take out the past versus present comparison, if you have written it, and put it into your conclusion instead. If possible, you can try to add some frasa menarik at the start of your Karangan, such as dalam meniti kehidupan pada marcapada, pada zaman globalisasi, and dalam dunia yang dilingkari kemajuan sains dan teknologi ini. Here are some templates that you can use for the pendahuluan. Feel free to pause the video and screenshot them. Next, let's get into our body paragraphs, otherwise known as isi-isi. For isi, the format that can be used is ayat topik, ayat huraian, ayat contoh, ayat impak, dan ayat penegas. I used to start off my body paragraphs with penanda wacana like selain itu and di samping itu. However, those Karangans did not score very well. Remember when we talked about what a good Karangan must have in the beginning? Ungkapan dan frasa menarik was one of the criteria that needed to be fulfilled. You can start off your Karangan with sentences like pada realitinya, memang tidak dapat dinafikan bahawa, marilah kita luaskan takrifan minda kepada kata kunci kedua, iaitu, suatu hakikat yang tidak dapat dikesampingkan ialah, lanjutan daripada huraian yang telah dinyatakan di atas untuk, and more. A tip to help you use more peribahasa inside your Karangan is that you can also use them to start off your entire paragraph. For example, If you are talking about sebab or faktor, you can start off your entire paragraph like this. Tanpa angin masakan pokok bergoyang. Oleh itu, terdapat beberapa faktor dan antaranya ialah. If your karangan is talking about cara-cara mengatasi sesuatu, you can use the sentence, namun, setiap penyakit ada penawarnya, setiap masalah ada penyelesaiannya. When you are giving examples to elaborate on your points, you can first check the question and see if they have provided any examples related to the topic. If there are examples in the question, you can simply take them and extend from them to create your ayat contoh. If you happen to know any news, statistics, or isu semasa that is related to your topic, you can also add it in as your ayat contoh. Here are some templates that you can use for your isi perenggan. Feel free to pause the video and look at them. Now, let's get into the penutup. To fulfill the criteria of frasa menarik and to score higher marks, I normally start off my kesimpulan with a sentence like, kesimpulannya, sebagai menggulung segala yang telah diperkatakan di atas. And if you did not include a past versus present comparison in your pendahuluan, you can include it here in your penutup. It is a good way to show how times have changed or how people's attitudes or opinions on certain things have changed. After that, you can briefly write about what can be done to improve on any problems or encourage people to take action on something. If you have written about kesan buruk in your karangan, a tip here to get more language marks is that you can finish off your penutup with a sentence like, semoga akan bekerjasama untuk supaya negara kita akan tercampak ke laut menjadi mutiara, terhambun ke bumi menjadi permata, dan terlantung ke langit menjadi bintang. Here is a template for penutup karangan. Again, feel free to pause the video. Now, let's talk about ujian bertutur and how you can use your textbook to help you. The most frustrating part of ujian lisan is probably when you get a question and aren't able to think of any points at all. To overcome this, you can look through the answer scheme of any kebab questions or practice questions that you may have on hand. You will notice that some answers are repeated very frequently. You can make a list of these answers and memorize them. If you get a question where you can't seem to think of any points, try to revisit this list and use some of the points to answer the question. While it's not 100% guaranteed that your points are all correct, if those answers are used very frequently, then there is a high chance that they are part of the answer scheme in the exam questions as well. When I was preparing for my SPM Ujian Lisan, another thing that I noticed is that a lot of their huraian and contoh are a direct copy and paste of content in BM textbooks. Sometimes, the whole answer scheme is in the textbook itself. Now, I'm not saying that you should take your 2 BM textbooks, look through everything page by page, and memorize every single page. No. However, it is a good idea to flip through each topic and theme of the textbook and somewhat expose yourself to the themes. You can take note of a few fun facts or statistics that you can remember and try to expose yourself more to topics and themes you may have less real-life experiences in. You can even make mind maps for isi where you are not so familiar with the topics or themes. This will make sure you have good points to use during your ujian lisan. When you are speaking, you can try to apply or relate to anything that you remember from what you have skimmed through in your textbook. Like in your karangan, you have to have the format of ayat topik, huraian, contoh, impak, and penegas. You should also use frasa menarik to get higher marks. That is all for this video. Wishing those of you who are taking SPM good luck. Please like this video and subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you.